Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Chris, and I am bringing you layout 3 for the Mini Kit Monday series for October. For layout 3, what we're going to be using is one of the pattern papers that you picked for your layout background, which is this blue one for me. You're also going to have number 3, which is 6 by 12. Pattern number 4, you're using a 4 by 12. And pattern number 1, you're using a 1.5 by 12 inch cut. When I was looking at mine, all three of those patterns were very, 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 very busy. So what I chose to do is for the 6 by 12 piece of paper, I used the back side, which was the yellow plaid, and it kind of tones it down just a little bit. But what I also did was pulled in this yellow piece of cardstock, and what I'm going to end up doing is matting my other two pieces of paper on that yellow cardstock to break it up just enough that it's not, you find some clear definition between the patterns. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these banners or into banners and raise them up just a little bit. And so here I am. When I cut my banners, I make a slice down the middle however high I want the banner to be, and then I go from each corner to the top of the middle cut. And I find that that works out pretty good for getting even sides. So here you can see that I'm going to go ahead and mat that onto the yellow cardstock that I have remaining after matting my photos. And I also ran out of ATG, so you missed that big fail on trying to reload my ATG gun. But now I'm going to go ahead and trim off that excess, remake the banners for the yellow piece of paper, and then again use the yellow for the other piece of scrap for the flowered pattern. And you'll see when it's all done, it really does break it up just enough that it doesn't mess with your eyes too bad. And again, changing it to the plaid, even though that's a busy pattern, it's a different kind. Whereas the apples and the flowers are more close together icons, the plaid reads more as a solid versus these other ones that are just so busy. So I'm going to go ahead and lay those down, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the pictures on top of it. So I like where that's all at, so I'm going to go ahead and mat those. And I have to apologize because I'm still trying to get used to the whole camera setup and where I'm at when I'm working. I'm so used to 20 years of just making my layout. I don't think about where my paper is on my my Tim Holtz glass mat. So you're going to see part of it when I'm doing the embellishments. It's going to be totally off screen. I left it in. It just shows that what I'm using for picking out embellishments and things. But I do have to apologize because a lot of this will be off screen, and I hope to improve as I go along. So I wanted to use up the rest of that little bit of paper. So what I'm also adding down at the bottom is with the scrap papers, I'm adding two more banners at the bottom, one with the apples and another one with the flower paper, and I'm also going to mat these on the yellow piece. I have just enough of the cardstock left that it all gets used up. I didn't like where the photos were laying. I thought they were too far to the right, so I kind of moved them over, and now it looks a little better and not all squished together on the right side. So here I am just finishing up those fishtails. Now today when I go to embellish it, instead of concentrating on the die cuts, I mainly looked at the 12 by 12 sticker sheets. There was a lot of the colors and a lot of the items that I thought I could use. This is pictures are of my mom and us going to a local fall event. It's what they call Pioneer Days, where they have the local craftsmen come out and they just show the kids about what it was like back in the pioneer days. So you have the leather worker, you have the iron worker, and my mom taught us growing up to really appreciate these kind of things. A lot of our vacations were spent going to reenactment type places, and if it had a historical sign, my parents were doing a U-turn in the road to go visit. So it's fun when I'm able to go as an adult with my mom and dad again. My mom asks a lot of questions, and my dad just patiently waits for my mom. And that's kind of what my story is going to be about when I write my journaling. So here I have that 12 by 12 sticker sheet that I'm looking at. And I also looked at the cut aparts, and I was almost ready to cut out one of in the lower right hand corner was that ball jar with the flowers in it and mushroom. And I was going to fussy cut that out, and then I saw that there was one actually on the sticker sheet. So I'm going to go ahead and use that, and I'm going to start placing things around, and everything's going to kind of get shifted. And again, you can see where I'm pushed over too far to the left, and so a lot of this doesn't show up on the screen, and I do apologize for that. There will be pictures in the end where you'll actually be able to see more of my clusters. But right now I'm just going through and finding like leaves that were in the set. I decided to use that sticker sheet that says Hello Fall because to me going to Pioneer Days is one of the events that we do at the beginning of the fall, so it kind of brings in that colder weather season, and it's kind of where things are starting, camping season's winding up, and all the sweaters are starting to break out and the leaves are starting to change, and this is just that event in early September that kind of brings it all together. I found on the Bulla Boulevard sticker sheet they had the scallop blue border piece, so I cut just a chunk of it off to put underneath, and I did move the ball jar over, and again I'm just trying to spread out. And I didn't like how everything was lining up on the left hand side for the label, and I thought about moving the Hello Fall down a little bit, but I didn't like how that was looking, so I ended up putting it back where it was, but I just changed out some of the icon pieces. I found a flower cluster that looked better, and then was happy with how it was looking and was able to layer things up. Right now, when I'm working with the sticker sheets, one of the things I do is I don't stick it all the way down. I kind of lightly place it on there, so it gives me the ability to move things around until I'm happy where they're all at, and then I'll actually stick them down. So I've got some phrase stickers from the sticker sheet that I'm putting on. I have 3 of them. One says memories, one says grateful for you, which is going to be a reference to my mom, and then another one that says memories with captured. And again, it's just being able to remember these times with my mom and dad and going, and even as adult you kind of like doing what I call a vacation or staycation items with them, and just appreciating how they go through life looking at the simple things and always wanting to learn. So here's where I'm putting some more of the phrase stickers down, and I'm just trying to find to use up some of these sticker sheets that I've had in my collection for a while. So now that I've pretty much gone through, I've grabbed out some more of the flowers and I'm sprinkling them around my layout like I would enamel dots. So I've brought the flowers into each of the sections. I've brought leaves in. And then what I'm going to do is bring out my little tray of bits and bobs, and I'm going to look to see. I kind of look at the die cuts, and again, I'm pretty much concentrating on the stickers. I decided I want some Nuvo drops on instead of enamel dots. I'm going to pull out the yellow, and then I did find these wooden buttons that were shaped like a flower, so I thought I could use those. I wanted to use these Maya Rhodes leaves, but I only had 2, so I didn't use those. And so out of the bits and bobs, I think I only used the buttons, but hey, it's something used up, and then I'm going to go ahead and adhere those down with some glue dots. These are really tiny buttons, so normally I would put thread in them, but I didn't feel like dealing with a needle and thread and trying to poke them through, but you can always do that if you're one of those that don't like having a bare button. I don't mind. So I just tested out my Nuvo drops on a spare piece of paper just to make sure they were flowing good and not clumpy. And I'm going to put 3 in each corner, and now you can kind of see my different embellishment clusters now that I've moved the paper around. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put journaling lines down in the left-hand corner. And again, I'm going to write the story about traveling with my mom and dad and enjoying asking questions and always learning. And that's going to be it for my layout. I'm going to show you a couple close-ups here. I want to thank you for joining in. If you like what you saw, please hit the subscribe button and the like button, and please join me again on Monday for the last of the 4x4 series. Thanks for joining. You have a great day.